Hi, this is Vince Curie. I'm doing a series of tutorials on my Singer Professional 5. Now this model is designated as 14T 968 Delta Charlie, or DC. That's the actual model number. Now, I've had one before. I have several videos on this. Might have a couple of hours of videos, but what I'm trying to do now is to demystify the serger. A serger is a complicated device. Engineering-wise, I mean, it's really awesome. And some of the things it can do is also quite amazing. What I'm going to do in this tutorial, you're not going to see any sewing or anything, but I'm going to, like for example, if you're learning to drive, you do a walk around, you'll learn what's on the outside of the car, you'll learn about lights and so forth, and brakes and radio, windshield wipers. What I'm doing is I'm showing you the controls on the machine, and then I'm showing you in the manual, once you know where things are on the machine, how to interpret the manual. I just printed that out. It comes on a CD, but it's better if you can print it out on both sides, like I did. See, it opens up and you can look at the left page and the right page. Okay, now, just real quick, here's something that was done on a serger. Now, this is stretch fabric. All right, it's for my grandson's little pajamas. Now, these are stitches that are done with the serger. Okay, and you can see it stretches. It is a stretch. Okay, so that's some of the things that a serger will do. Okay, on that note, the serger comes threaded for the three needle cover stitch. That's what this is set up for right now. And it comes with a card with the left, center, and right needle threaded, and also with the chain stitch looper, which is right here. Now, here's what I did. Make it easier for myself. I'm not an expert on this, although I had one before. I want to demystify it. I have a labeler. You could buy those any place. They're inexpensive. They're a Brother labeler. And I just happen to use the clear labels. And here's what I did according to the book. Let me get a little closer here. Okay. Now here's what I did. Left needle, center needle, right needle. Also, this is the upper looper if you're not using the right needle. Lower looper, and then the chain looper. This has 3 loopers on it. In addition, in the manual, when you're setting up for a particular stitch, it will, like for example, in the book over here, okay, all right, it's showing you, for example, on the needle setup, this has 5 needle positions. The most you could use at one time is 3. And here is the bottom looking up, how they're laid out. You got a front row and then a back row, and then all the stitches, all the 14 different chapters. It shows you the block like this, what the needle is called, the letter. It shows you in the front how you set it up. I'm going to show you these different things. All right, and so basically, for example, you're going to see ATD, which is auto tension dial, and it'll tell you to set it to B, which I can show you real quick. All right, what I did was, with the labeler, I put hand wheel. I labeled this stitch length dial, and I label this automatic tension dial. And in the book it'll tell you where they want this set for a particular stitch. Like for that particular stitch, they would want this on a B, right? You know, so you would turn this to B, right? So the stitch that I'm looking at is what's called a 5-thread safety stitch wide, and that's what it looks like. And you could find this on apparel that's well made. This kind of stitch is also on jeans, pants. It's very strong. And this has a chain stitch loop also. Okay, so, all right, that's what I did on this side, and I labeled everything on the top. And then, of course, you turn it, and it'll tell you the different controls in the instructions for each stitch, and it'll show you, for example, it'll give you a setting for your presser foot adjustment dial, which that is. All right. Cutter width dial, the width of the cut when you're using the knife. And then over here, your differential feed adjustment. All right, so I have it set up so it's easier when I'm doing a particular stitch. I want to try this particular stitch. I got the machine. I look on one side, I look on the other, and I set it up accordingly, rather than looking in the book to see what dial they're talking about. All right, now I'm going to show you something on the needles. I'm going to zoom in. See how close I can get to this. Okay. Okay, right about here. Right about here. Mm-hmm. Too much. Okay. All right. You get a few tools. One of the tools happens to be a little Allen key, like just designed like a screwdriver. All right, there you go. All right, and that's a little Allen wrench. And when you're setting the machine up for a particular stitch, it might tell you what needle they might want. So this goes right in there. See? It even holds it. It's deep. And then of course you turn it a little bit. You press the foot up. Well, actually it's up. And you rotate your hand wheel on the right, to bring this up, right? In order to get the needles out. I'm not going to do it now because I got it set up the way it come from the factory, and these are tight. I don't want to break them because I want to thread it. So anyway, you got 3 in the front for the 3 needles, and then you got the 2 in the back over here. The 2 back needles. All right, now, in addition to that, back up. In addition to that, you have this opens like this and down. All right. When you're doing things like cover stitches and so forth, you have this, and I named it your seam guide. I put a tag on it, seam guide plate, right? And the other plate here is the knife guard, and the way these attach onto the machine is they have 2 tabs here, and then you have a locking tab right there. So in order to take this off, in case you wanted to do the actual serging with the cutter, see, you just drop this, and then there's a tab right here. You just pick that up a little bit, and you push, you pull this out like that, okay? And then of course, you would change this. But I'm not going to be using that right now, so I put this back. Easy enough. I've had people email me that they don't know how to do this. Okay. And it locks right in, see? Right? Seam guide plate. That's what that is. Now, there's also an adjustment there if you're doing a rolled hem. And I put a little, I didn't put the little tag on it, okay. When you're doing a rolled hem, for example, you got an R right there, and then over here you got an N, which is standard. So just for the rolled hem, you bring this in the back. tells you in the instructions where this should be, and there's another thing that'll tell you which way they want it. I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm just showing you the controls. All right. They'll tell you, for example, they want that particular looper armed or disarmed, and the book is set up nice. And, of course, if you print out the big book, that's also very good too. Like for example, like in here, see, auto tension dial, your stitch length, a differential feed, and then you got LC. Now, if you don't know what LC is, you come down here on the bottom, and there's your legend. It's the upper looper driving clutch position, and it'll tell you where they want it for a particular stitch. See, for just say a double chain stitch, the upper looper, they want it in C position. For a 2-thread wrapped edge overlock, they might want that in L position. So what I did was, I demystified that a little bit. See, in the front here, they have it embossed in the plastic. C with arrow up, and then the arrow down for L. And this little arrow, if you're not sure what it means, it does mean is that you push this that way. You push it that way against a spring, and then you bring it down, and you're supposed to go all the way down with it, or up. See, that's one position. This little elbow, knee, whatever you want to call it, is straight across. You bring it to the left again, and you bring this up like that, and it's bent like a knee, bent knee. All right. So what I did was I put a little L and C for that lever, and then here I put, if they want the L position arrow down, the C position arrow up, and you have to push this to the left in order to make that work. Okay? And then, of course, over here, you got the cheat sheet, and it shows you, here's the bent knee, and here's the straight knee, if you want to call it. We're talking about this particular thing right over here. Okay? So that's another control. This is the rolled hem control over here. This knob right here, when you pull it out and you turn it, that's the fixed knife right there. So right now for this stitch, they want it down and out of the way. Okay? And then, of course, the cheat sheet shows you the in color. See, like you got brown on the top, and you got red. Right? Here you got green. Then you got your colors over here also. See, when you're looking at the legend down here, like that. You go by your colors. See, I'm trying to demystify this machine because there's a lot to it. Beautiful machine, though. Just want you to know that. And it comes with an assortment of feet, extra feet, 6 extra feet. Each one of these feet's about $30 if you had to buy it separately. All right, let me close this. I move this a little bit over like this, and I'm going to show you. Now I printed the whole book out, like I said, and okay. And here, for example, I bought the Avery, I think they call it, the 16 tabs, the whole tab, and I printed this. I went on the Avery site and I printed this on my printer. They give you the blank sheet, but I put all this in. And what I did was, from the book, is if you want to do a double chain stitch, that is chapter 1, and just say would be to page 1. Now just say we jump additional presser feet, right? It's 15, and it starts at page 213, right there. So easy enough. You open the book, you go to that tab, that's 14, you go to 15, and I set them up. When I pull to 15, I'm looking at that chapter 15, that's the additional feet, okay, and it, for example, beading foot. Now, from what I understand, that could be used if you're making certain types of gowns, and you want to buy the little beads, and you could use monofilament like a fishing line, and that then gets serged in with a foot like this. This is the beading foot, and here's the instructions. It gives you differential feed set to N, right? Needles. Use left needle for large beads, right needle for smaller beads. Upper knife, you may choose to work with or without the upper knife. You got an option there. Your stitch length, that's the SL I was showing you. You set it 3 or 4. Anyway, you got your instructions. All right. So now the other thing is blind hem foot. So here's your blind hem foot right here. Well made, nice. And then here's your instructions for that particular. It shows you, setting your, how to set your fabric up, like there, with the setting that you set the machine up, and sewing instructions. So now you turn the page. Okay. Here's the cording foot, and it tells you basically what that is for sewing piping and so forth. And here is the cording foot right here, and you see the groove underneath. That's for you run the piping in that groove. And that's the instructions. Then up here you got your elastic foot. That's this one here. Well made. Elastic foot. That's for installing elastic. Elastic and stuff like swimwear, lingerie, and other sewing projects with instructions. How to set the machine up, differential feed, your needles, which needles, up a knife, stitch length, 3 or 4. So it spells it out nice, and I'm demystifying this machine. We got the serging, if I'm saying it correctly. There's the serging foot, special foot used for gathering on thin material, sheer fabrics. It says, and then it shows you what they're talking about over here. Gives you the settings. Set the maximum highest number for gathering, right? But information on it, sewing instructions. The other foot is the 6th foot is the taping foot. Well made, everything's well made, adjustable, and you have your showing you how it's used. Special foot is used for inserting the tape into seams that will stretch easily. Right? And then, of course, your setup over here. Okay, so I gave you the little tour. And here's some of the things that it comes with. Down here. It comes with extra needles, a few Singer, number 11, number 14. Number 11, number 14. These are used if you're using the old-fashioned thread. I don't even use, like the sulky type over there. That type of spool right there. You use those little wheels on the top. And here is an add-on that you plug into the front of that cover, and that's for when you're doing your serging, the little waste that comes off, drop it into that. Now, what I'm doing is I set the machine up. That's sort of a brown, red, green, upper looper or right needle. That's for your center needle, and the orange for the left needle. So the next tutorial, what I'll be doing is I'm going to show you. I'll do the cover stitch first, then I'll do some of these other stitches. Each tutorial I will show you in the book, and we're going to set the machine up. I'll show you how actually easy these are to thread. Okay, so I hope you got something out of that. It's a beautiful machine, and what I like about this particular, the cover stitch is an extra on this thing. I mean,